Valorant has done something that Fortnite has not been able to do for a while. They've actually typed up some patch notes. So I'm going to go over them here, let you know what the changes are, because I think there's some good changes for the game, and I like what they did here. Basically, they start out by saying, hey, look at us, patch notes in a closed beta. Who would have thought? This short and sweet patch addresses the giant rays in the room, cameras that somehow learn how to shoot, and some map updates. I thought this was great because they poke fun at Fortnite for not putting up patch notes even out of beta, and they're putting them in closed beta. So yeah, I think that's pretty funny that they went after Fortnite there. Definitely a nice poke there. So I'm just gonna go over the changes, let you know what's new for the game. Gameplay and balance, melee damage. Melee attacks now inflict double damage to destructibles, including Sage's barrier, Heaven's metal doors. And this is mainly because if Sage early game puts up her wall, people can't get through it because they don't have enough weapons to break through it easily, so they're using their knife and it just takes too long. I think it's a good change because it does take too long to break, so I think double damage is good even from someone who mains Sage. I think that's a great change. We got reduce paint shells from 2 to 1. I think that's going to be pretty huge. Paint shells now have a kill reset, requiring players to kill 2 people to refresh the cooldown. Big changes for Raze. Tuned and adjusted audio for paint shells, blast pack, and showstopper so that they'll be easier to hear in hectic scenarios. I agree with that. I think it was a little over the top on my side. Fixed an edge case where the secondary cluster of the paint shells would explode quicker than intended. Now they have a minimum duration before they explode, so if they throw something, the timing will now be more consistent. And they're basically just saying, you know, they want her to be high threat, but they also want her to be able to be countered. And they think in time, most people will be able to counter her pretty easily. With Sage, the slow orb now also slows the airspeed of players in the zone. Players can now walk through the slow orb without making noise. And they basically said players were also able to circumvent too much of Sage's slow by bunny hopping through the zone. Now they won't be able to do that. I'm wondering if Jet will still be able to fly through this. I think she will, but it doesn't specify here. It's something we're going to have to test. It's nice that you can walk through it now because now you can sneak up on people inside that area, which I think is a good idea. Map updates, several exploits fixed on Bind, Heaven, and Split. Split Orb moved from B mid to B main. And it's just basically saying the intent is to alleviate some pressure from mid and provide more incentive for players to control B main. Quality of life, reduced outbound network traffic from clients from running higher frame rates per second. That's great because they probably don't need all that garbage, and it'll just make the game run smoother, especially if people are having problems with certain carriers. And that'll just make more responsive gameplay and not have problems there. Bug fixes fixed a rare server crash caused by packet occasionally being corrupted by some players' networks. Cypher's spy cam can no longer use weapons. Fixed a bug where footsteps audible range would sometimes not appear on the minimap. Okay, so basically sometimes the person won't show on the minimap if it makes a sound. So great stuff. I've already seen an exploit going on where people use Sage's wall to get up, use Cypher's camera, jump on Cypher's camera, get rid of the wall, get rid of the camera, and the person can stay on top there floating in the air. So this is a new thing that just came out already, and this patch is live just today. It's only about 400 some megs, so it only took a few minutes to download. And let me know what you think of these changes. Are you looking for any buffs or nerfs on any characters? If so, let me know which ones down below for the question of the day. Thanks so much, and here are some other videos I know you'll love.